welcome back to the Jac And Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started with this interview, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of this interview. We have on the lovely Iesha, the queen, as some of you are calling her, from Ready to Love. Iesha, how you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm sorry, guys, I'm late. I am back to life, back to reality, guys. So please forgive me. I have, well, what y'all like to say, booked and busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm booked and busy both ways. So I'm booked and busy with my salon, and I'm booked and busy with these amazing interviews. I'm trying not to stretch myself too thin, but I do want to make sure I get every interview in that asks of me. So again, I apologize for my tardiness. But I gotta feed my babies.
I know that's right.
No, that's right. And you got a new look for us too. Give
Of
us
course, this is my signature look.
Okay.
So anybody who knows Aisha knows that I am a bold blonde beauty.
Beautiful it is. Beautiful it is.
I'm glad you said it because that was gonna be my first question. Is this something new or is this typical?
No.
Okay.
No, if you go through my Instagram, like usually every summer or every spring when I go back to this look, everybody who follows me be like, yes, there she is. Yes, yes, cheekbones, yes, cut. Like, no. They were like, I love your wigs, Aisha, but please keep this zhuzh. And I'll be like, I already know, 15 years strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 15 years I cut it and I have never looked back.
Okay.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, as we get ready to get started in this interview, tell us a little bit about Aisha. Where does Aisha come from? How did you get so self-confident that we saw on the TV show? Who's Aisha?
Tell us about your background. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm from Bronx, New York.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody know BX, baby. I am 3 of 8. So my parents had 8 children together, all 8 the same mama and same daddy.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, all of our names start with an A.
Okay.
So it's just a fun fact about us. I just grew up in love, and I grew up with a strict daddy and a sweet mama and just a bunch of Bronx kids running up and down the concrete jungle and having fun.
Good. Y'all looked out for being almost, I can say you're the middle, because almost the middle child, right? Did you?
No, I'm number 3. I'm the 3rd oldest, and I'm the 2nd girl.
Okay.
So you kind of like daddy's girl.
I was my dad's favorite, not in the sense of like favorite like that, because he was strict on all of us, but he was a little bit sweeter to me because I'm the only one he planned. Because he wanted a Gemini girl just because he was a Gemini and his mother was a Gemini. So when she passed, he wanted to have a Gemini girl. So he made sure him and my mom planned to land on a Gemini month.
You sound like me. So my dad was a Gemini, June the 10th, and I was pregnant with my son. And I was actually supposed to have my C-section on June the 10th, but he couldn't wait. So but he's still a Gemini.
So when did he come out?
June the 2nd.
Oh, June 2nd. That's one of my cousin's birthday. I'm June 8th.
Okay.
That's good. So, growing up in the Bronx, what's some of the things that you learned that affecting you now, that helping you now by growing up in BX?
What you said, growing up in the Bronx, what?
What by growing up in the Bronx, how has that helped you now in life? By growing up in New York?
Gave me a lot of resilience to be strong. Like, you cannot be a New Yorker in the Bronx. Certain boroughs produce different people, but everybody's gonna say, in New York we go by boroughs. So everybody's gonna be like, my borough rip harder. But for me, I know like the Bronx, you gotta have some tough skin, some thick skin. And it helped me to know that to be strong, but be aware. Like, you definitely have to be all on high alert. It was, but it was fun. It was fun. I said in one of my interviews, we played double dutch all day, and we played hopscotch, and we played hot peas and butter. We did all of those things that like when I was growing up, children stayed outside. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a computer. We didn't have a cell phone. By the time I got a computer, it was dial up.
Right.
Right.
So we didn't have these things. So your outlet for fun was going outside and playing and getting dirty, to the point where your mama like, hurry up and get in the tub and don't bring that outside in my inside, you know?
So, just growing up, were you more like a tomboy or were you a girly girl? Okay.
I was such a time. So I went through phases from when I was probably about, say, old enough to know what clothes were, like three to about 10. I was like this girly girl. Like you could not put me in a pair of pants because I thought pants belonged to boys.
Mm-hmm.
So I will cry if my mom said you had to put on a pair of pants. I was like, I'm not a boy. And she's like, girl, it's cold outside. I'm not a boy. And I always wanted to have something full frilly on. But then as I got a little older, around 10, my brother and I are like not so far apart in age, and I wanted to be his friend. So I would try to hang out with him. But he would be like, get out of here. Like, you're not hanging out with me, my friends. And so I noticed how they would flip over the gates and like play with their G.I. Joes and stuff like that. So in order to relate to him, I was like, I'm going to start dressing like him. And I'm going to start flipping over the gates. And I got scars on my legs to prove it. So I definitely went through that phase because I just really wanted my brother to be my best friend. Now me and him just thick as thieves as we got older.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's kids of this age, this generation, they don't always know that. Like I know you like me, you could point, say, oh, I got this scar when I did this. Yes. I got this when I did that. You know, they don't have that. We played outside, like you said. You don't come back in till the street lights come on. If you thirsty with some water outside.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So that sounds like
you know, in the summertime we had fun. When somebody turned the fire hydrant on, it was over. Once that fire hydrant came on, we was all outside. But then our parents would yell at us to turn it off because their water pressure got low in the house.
Right. But so at that young age, is that when you developed your love for cooking?
Yes, because my grandma and my mom and all my aunts, they always stayed in the kitchen. They always was cooking something good. The house, my mom and my mother, 8 kids. You could imagine 8 children in the Bronx. And she had to feed 8 children plus her husband plus herself. But I remember every meal was good. Every meal satisfied us. It was enough to eat twice. The one thing though, I was a very, very picky eater when I was growing up. So picky, like certain things I would not eat. And I would be like, I'm not eating that. And by that, when I was younger, I was a small little thing with pigtails, and I had a big old bobblehead and a little body. So I would be like, I'm not eating that. And my mother was like, you know, black mothers, they go, well, then you go to bed hungry. And I was like, okay, I'll go to bed hungry. I didn't care. So then my mom would be like, all right, then go to bed hungry. But my mother is such a sweetheart. I would go to bed hungry and she'll wake me up like an hour later, like, get your little self up. What do you want? And I'm like, peanut butter and jelly. Right. And so my brother used to get mad because one of the things my mom used to do, she used to make, say, write down your menu of what you like to eat. And then I'll make that, and then I'll try to incorporate it. And my brother used to be so pissed off, like, how come she gets together? Mama said, because she had a little nothing but skin and bones. She got to eat. You know, so that's a little funny family thing we laughed about. That I was a little spoiled one.
Got you. So now, you know, as you transition from, you know, Bronx and as you got older, how did you end up on the, you know, the Ready to Love show? You know, we transition now to Ready to Love. How did you end up on the show?
So a girlfriend of mine, she tried out, but she didn't make it. So then she sent it to me. She just texted me a link. And I'm like, what is this? And she's like, just fill it out and send it in. And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, so I'm reading it. And she's like, it's for a dating show. I'm like, a dating show? She's like, it's a reality show on Oprah's TV. And I'm like, girl, no. Like, anybody who knows me, I haven't watched TV for almost probably going on 3 or 4 years. I haven't watched TV in a while. Like, I'll watch it with my clients at my shop, but I don't even have a TV in my bedroom. But that's how, like, I'm not committed to TV, especially reality TV, because I started to feel poisoned by it. So I just like, it doesn't. And then sometimes when you're trying to get work done and you have it on, you find yourself focused completely on it, and then you lose track of your thoughts and your process. So then I start to be like, you know what? I have to just stay diligent, and I have to not have TV.
Right.
And my children too. Little thing too is my children couldn't get televisions in their room until they turned teenagers, so they didn't have televisions in their room either. But so she's like, I'm like, I don't watch TV. Da 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 da. So she's like, please do it. I ignored her. Another day passed. She sent it again. Like, the spirit is on me heavy, girl. The spirit is telling me it's for you. And I really feel like you should do it. And I'm like, yeah, how about no? Like, I'm not doing it. And she's like, Aisha, I really, really feel like you need to do it. You are such a boss chick. It's time for you to have a man. It's time for you to be seen like you need to be seen. I was just like, yeah, okay. The last time she finally hit me up, like, the spirit is like on me, because like she has this like gift where she feels like she's in tone with energies and spirits to talk to her. And so she's like, I'm telling you, Aisha, the spirit is telling me it's for you. So I said, okay, I will fill it out for fun. And I filled it out, and Lala Means called me, like, literally, I think I sent it in that night, and the next following day, Lala Means called me and was like, hi, this is gonna speak to Aisha. We really love you. We love your look. And I'm like, what's going on? And then she said, yes, this is Will Packers and Own Productions, Ready to Love. And I'm just like, this was real. I thought this was a joke. And she's like, it's real. And then from there, I ended up on you guys' TV screen.
Wow.
So prior to that, what was your dating life like? We know that you was married for 12 years, but were you dating on a dating scene before Ready to Love? And how was that?
My dating life was like, blah. Coming to DC, moving into the DMV area, it was definitely like, because everybody here is government, which I learned moving here is like everybody work for the government. Everybody got a government contract. Everybody feel like they some FBI agent or some CSI or some NCIS or some Baywatch. I don't know, but you need some more acronyms. Like, everybody feel like they Elemental P and JKY. I don't know. I'm like, listen here, brother. Okay. But they all feel like they was these big, big wigs. And since they feel like that, they want you to chase them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They want you to chase them. Like, girl, you know who I am? Like, I work for the government, and I got a good job, and I got a luxury apartment in the sky. And it's like, baby, but I got it too. I got it too. What are you talking about? But I'm still not going to chase you, I'm still not going to chase you. So I think that's where it was just like, I'm not doing this, because it was like, I'm not chasing a man. And I felt like the art of the chase of the woman is gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When do you chase us? When do you come after us? Like, men wanting to be courted, and it's weird. It's just weird behavior to me. Coming into dating after being with somebody for 12 years, period, was weird. I really felt like I stepped into the twilight zone. It was like men not asking you out. First date, they thinking they're having sex, and it's like, people giving it up on day one. Like, you're not even gonna feed me. Like,
give me a
I don't even know what's going on. Like, I don't even know your middle name, but I gotta bust it up. I was weirded out, and I used to tell my girlfriends, like, this is what y'all went through, and they like, yeah, girl, it's rough out here in these streets. And so for a minute, I just sat back to myself, and I was like, I can't do this. I really can't. So then I focused on work. But then you want companionship. You working and you going home. You working, you going home. It's me and my kids. And my children started to even ask me, like, Mom, when are you gonna date? You deserve to date. And when my kids used to always say that to me, I used to feel like, I don't want to share you with anyone. Nobody deserves you guys yet.
Mm-hmm.
No one has proven themselves enough to me for date 20, whereas I'm going to bring you around my children. So it was some points where I had to sit back and be like, okay, I'm going to wait for it to find me, and I'm not going to search for it. And then it was points where I was like, you know what, let me try this dating app stuff. And then that was a bust. The POS and the Hinge and the Binge and so no. Jac And Glen, I just was like, I'm a chill. And I think at that point when my girlfriend hit me up, she already knew, like, she's like, you have done so much work on yourself spiritually. You have done so much work on you mentally. I think trying this experience can't hurt.
Right.
And I was like, well, you know what? Now that you put it that way, let's see what it looks like. So that's why I was willing to explore now. And so Ready to Love at that point, it was like, okay, we can try this. And then she's like, it's on Oprah Network too. I don't think it's going to be no yelling and cursing.
Oops. More than she, right?
Yikes. So.
Well, yeah. So you touched on two things that I was going to ask about, being married for so long, definitely the dating scene had changed. And so you talked about, how it had changed. And God knows, we've been married for 23 years, 20 years, not 23, since I was 23.
That's all right. Add some change, sis. That means you claiming him forever.
Yes,
right.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm like you, I could imagine, you get back out there, it's like, why, this the kind of men they making now? What kind of trash is this? So I think it's good. And, we've heard people complain about dating apps, and that ain't necessarily, people catfishing and everything.
Oh my God. So many catfishing and funny story. Like I met a guy once out. I make sure I get his license plate, make sure he send me all the information so I can give it to my cousin and everybody know where I'm at. But I met him at the place, so he can't follow me or break me. And he walked in looking like Eddie Kane Jr.
Was he sliding in? Was he sliding late to the door like Eddie Kane?
I was about to be like, is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight? What is happening? That is not you on that picture.
Right.
That is not you. Why did you do that to me? And he was just like, so I'm jaw to the floor, and he's like, you look just like your pictures.
Ain't that the point?
And you, sir, sir, nice shirt, sir. Nice, nice shirt. Because, me and my cousin, we had a code system where if I text her, she had to call me like, oh my God, you gotta hurry up and get home. I gotta get home to my kids. Da, 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 da. And I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm coming home right now to get my kids. I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm sorry to interrupt your date. But that's how it was out here in these streets, that you gotta make up a system to escape the catfishing.
Yeah.
But it's the women too. I don't think it's fair just to say the men do it, because it's the women too. The women, their intent is not there either. Mm-hmm, the women is out here. They have let media make them think that they had to look a certain way to get a certain thing and just go for that. And if it doesn't look like that, then it's wrong. Right. If he's not in the Benz, he's wrong. If he's not willing to pull $10,000 out of his pocket and hand it to you right now, it's wrong. Like, no, sis, it's like, I don't think it's that many men that exist in the world. But again, remember I said you're going to curate the life that you want. So although when I spoke on that I want a husband that's going to take care of me, I'm still realistic in the aspect of what does that look like for us. That man that I'm looking for is really going to have a plan set in place for himself too, that he is looking for a wife that he can take care of. You can't be looking for a man that's like an everyday working man and thinking he's just going to have $10,000 to take you on shopping sprees. Right. So it has to make sense both ways for men and female. Align yourself with people who is going to meet the same expectations that you have laid out. We can't keep on saying, oh, I'm going to go with this guy, and if he's not showing up how I expect him to show, did you ask the right questions? Did you ask, is he capable of doing that? Did you ask that? Did you ask her, did she know how to cook? Did you ask her, did she do, what did you ask? What did you ask? Nobody's asking questions, but everybody wants to be in a relationship.
Right. That's it right there. Yeah, because you got to find out about these people you're involving yourself with. So there's no surprises later. You got to talk. Okay, like y'all did on the show too. Talk about kids. If that's a point where y'all can't agree, then okay, you're not the one for me. Okay, so how do you feel about, say, a woman working? You know, how do you feel about bank accounts? How do you feel about this? You got to talk about that stuff, because then you be on your way to the altar, and after you say I do, it's like, wait, you don't what? You don't want that. Oh, wait a minute, wait.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can change your mind. Then it's a little bit harder than beforehand, you know. So
It's true.
and I like what you said too. The other thing, because you have children involved, and that was the other thing that I was going to say to you. How did your children feel about you getting into this process? Like, did you tell them right away? Were they encouraging, or were they like, I don't know, mama?
No, I told them right away because I needed their approval. Because if they would have said no, I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
So if at any point where they felt like, oh, this might be embarrassing for me, mom, or I just don't think this is the right move for us. Like, they're 15 and 14. They know what internet is. They know what reality TV is. They're not little children, you know?
Right.
So they definitely know what I would have been getting myself into, and then meant their lives possibly being exposed to. And if they was like, I'm not with it, then, you know, I would have had to be like, okay, yeah, it's not for me. But my children have always been supportive of saying that, mommy, like, especially my son, he used to come to me and say, Mom, I really feel like you're so beautiful. And I think that you should get a boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember I said my children went to therapy too.
Right.
So they learned what divorce meant. They learned what separation of mom and dad meant. They learned what abuse was.
Right.
They learned these things, so they were able to put actions with verbiage and understand, like, okay, that happened, so this is the right verbiage to describe it. And my mom broke it down like this. Okay, we left the house divorced. What does divorce mean? Divorce means two parents moving out of the household, one going one way, the other one going the other way. Oh, that's the action that happened. That's the word that belongs to it. Got it. Okay, Mom. Now, what we do about that, we understand that mommies and daddies sometimes don't work. But guess what? They both still love you.
Right.
Guess what? Okay, so I can still, even though I don't wake up to you both every day, you could still love me, mommy, and daddy could still love me too. Yes.
Right.
Yes. We both get to still love you guys. We both get to still kiss up on you guys. And, you know, then I would make it fun. Like, now you get more gifts, you know? You know, it was like, so don't be so sad. Now, when it's your birthday, you're going to get 2 gifts now, you know? And it worked for me to make sure I involved them, you know, and they really end up maturing and being they are amazing honor roll students consistently. But my son, once he understood what divorce was and separation, and my daughter, it was a TV show he used to always watch with me, Modern Family. And they had 2 different. And one day, the little boy father came and knocked on the door. And my son said, wait a minute, Jay is not his father? And I said, no, that's his stepfather. And he said, so let me get this straight. You can still get another boyfriend, and he becomes my dad, and then I still have my dad too. And I say, yep. He said, so then you get 2 dads. I said, yep. And if your dad gets somebody, you can get 2 moms. He said, no, I don't want 2 moms. He said, but I just think that's cool. Because then he said, because I like how he plays with him and then gives him advice, but then his real dad comes. He said, wow, that's cool. And I think he started to understand more. Like, okay, my mom, as long as she can find somebody and make her happy, that's going to make me happy. And then once he became a boy, you know, as you would probably did with your mom, he started to walk behind me. So guys wouldn't look at me. But asserted himself as my son, but still be like, you know, Mom, it's okay to date. But he became a protector.
So you mentioned something earlier in domestic violence. So you're a survivor of domestic violence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations. Thanks for surviving.
Yes, I'm never a victim. I'm a victor. I never will ever bash my ex ever. It happened. and we moved past it. We got help, we got healing, and then we have two beautiful children who are benefiting from their parents. For me being mature enough, because some women can't make it out of it.
Right.
Some women make it in the ground, you know.
Right.
Some women can't rectify their situation. Some men are not willing to heal. Some men are willing to stay the monster, be the monster, live in that monster role, and constantly be that evil, you know. And I was going to be the bigger person and the bigger ray of sunshine and be like, this won't happen.
Right.
I'm leaving, but we won't raise broken babies.
Right.
Right.
And it took a lot of fight. It took a lot of time, but we did it. Because the common goal was to make healthy babies.
Right. So many times in domestic violence situations, in divorce situations, people can't put that as a priority. You know, is you want your kids to come out still good. You know, I like the fact that, you know, you took them to therapy. Everybody went through therapy because it's a lot of grown-ups that still feel like they can't get past my parents got divorced. You know, there was domestic violence, like they're still grappling with that.
Still holding on to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're 40 years old and you still talking about that. So then that goes back when I say you, and one of my interviews I said, when do we become accountable for our own pain too?
That's right. That's right.
When do we become accountable for our own pain? When do we move out of the victim role and move into the victorious role? We can't keep blaming our past hurts when it's 10 years in, 20 years in. When do you say, I don't want to feel like this no more? So the pain became so familiar that you want to live with it?
Right.
You want to live with this pain? You and your pain became best friends? I'm not doing that.
That's right.
I don't like how it feels. If you don't like how it feels, then why wouldn't you get help? Why wouldn't you get help? You can't keep saying, oh, my mom wasn't there. Okay, mommy was not there. Now what do we do?
Right.
What do we do? Okay, daddy doesn't. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? We're going to fix it. We're going to figure out how to be better in our relationship so we can break the cycle, right? But we can't keep on saying, but this happened and that happened and I'm woe is me. Don't live in that victim role.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the key there, and how we raise children in today's time. You know, things may happen, but guess what? You are still victorious. The situation can be turned around. You can be successful. Somebody else got out. Somebody else became successful after this situation. Guess what? That can be you also. Now you have to get the right mindset and find the right tools and have enough people in your corner and pushing you towards that direction and supporting you. You know, and you talked about that. Who were some of your supporters when you was going through what you was going through to push you forward?
My mom. My mom was my biggest supporter. My 7 siblings, my family all together. By the time I told my family, they were, of course, heartbroken too, but they rallied around me. I come from a huge family, so it was just nothing but love and support. And well, we got your back. And if you really want to go, then you're gonna go. You're gonna do what's best for you and the babies. You know, I got so much help from every person that I could think about. That's my close circle.
That's awesome.
So I think even if you don't have a strong support system, don't use that as an excuse either.
Right.
There's hotlines out there.
Right.
I don't want us to make excuses for not healing.
Oh,
I don't have a strong system, Aisha. I don't have family and friends. I don't have a bestie I can call. I don't have a mom. She's not alive. My dad and I haven't talked in 5 years, so I can't call him. I don't have coworkers that I can trust. There's hotlines. So let's start there. Let's try that first. Let's see how that feels. Just talk to someone.
Right.
So let's start there.
Right.
I don't have insurance. I can't afford therapy. There are free hotlines. Let's try that first. Let's heal. Let's heal. The Black community has so much trauma embedded in us, and it's sickening.
Yeah.
And it's emerging in our families, in our finances. We don't have financial literacy. We don't have this. We have to do better. And I want us to do better. So again, me being on that show, like I said, if I was not going to find love at the very most, you're going to see somebody with sense and healing. And I don't know why I was placed on this platform. If I've never watched this show, what are the chances of my girlfriend saying that spirit and pushed her to make me be on it?
Right.
She applied and didn't get on. That she can be jealous. You know, she even told me at one point she became jealous. And then the spirit told her that, she said her spirit came to her and told her, like, how could you be jealous of somebody who you think is a beautiful person and you want to walk in the same light as her? So she said that was the flesh of me. And I had to be like, okay, no. Aisha's not even like that. It was meant for her. That's why you had to give it over to her.
Right.
And because I said, girl, you ain't have to tell me this. Like, you ain't make it on. You didn't have to tell nobody you ain't make it on. And you definitely didn't have to shoot me that text. Like, I was fine. I was fine. But it's just like what's meant. I always say, que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've heard you say that several times during the show.
Yeah.
You know, doing the shows and interviews, you said that. Right?
And see, this is what people don't understand. So when you come into a show like this with different women and men from all different, different walks of life and different backgrounds, they don't know that I'm coming into this situation. I being Iesha, I'm coming into this situation as a strong, independent, outspoken, I'm battle tested woman.
Yes.
And so you're not gonna try it with me, because first of all, the Bronx. Second of all, big family. Third of all, I made it out of this situation, this marriage, domestic violence issue. Listen, I'm coming with all of this, so I'm not gonna be.
I always say my armor is strong, baby.
Yeah,
my armor is built strong. But what I also say is, although I have armor built for toughness, I want to lay it down.
Yeah.
I'm going to be soft. I'm strong because I had to build this armor. I had to build this armor up. But what female wants to live with their shoulders up all the time?
Right.
I don't want to do that. I want to be a woman. I want to be soft. I want to be pink. I want to be pretty. I want to be girly. I want you to love me. I want you to look at me and can't stop looking at me. I want you to look at me and be like, that's mine.
Right.
That's mine. That's right. Me. She wanted me. She chose me. She gave me 20 years, she gave me 20 years. Like, dang. Am I worth 20 years to her? Dang, girl, thank you for hanging in here for 20 years. Dang. I know it wasn't easy, baby, but you gave me 20 years of your life.
Right.
I want that.
Yeah.
I deserve that. We all deserve that. Good and bad. It's never going to be peachy. It's never going to be all peaches and cream. It's never going to be all peaches and cream. But communication is the key. People speaking up, people not being scared to say what hurts them, what feels good. People not being scared to say their traumas out loud to their spouse. People say, oh, don't give them all of you. No, give them a little bit of you. Give them some of you. Right. Let them know that you're human like them.
Yeah.
Don't walk into a relationship thinking you're perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why you acting like that, because I don't care. I've been hurt before, but I ain't never doing it. Let me hear your hurt. Let's talk about our hurt. Let's talk about how we're going to fix our hurt.
Right.
Or how about we don't come into a relationship hurt? But if that is the case, what can we do to help each other?
Right.
How can we heal this? Because we in this, so let's fix it. Something other than just staying complacent, something other than just giving up, something other than just saying love don't live here no more, something, the try, the do, the activeness, be active, be proactive. And that's why I said on that show, those men were going to get a shoulder, they were going to get an ear, and they was going to get all of me, authentic of me.
I love it. I love it.
One thing, she said you came in with your armor, but I think what I heard when I hear you speaking, you came in healed. And I think you can see this when as the show progressed, you can see those who were healed and those that were hurt. So when you got to the mansion and when you got there, What was on your mind as you was traveling to this mansion? Because you said you got the approval from your children, you got approval from your friend, and now Aisha, you talk to the production people. Now, okay, it's go time. What was on your mind when it's go time? You got all the approvals. You've been out the dating game for 12 years. Now it's go time. What were you feeling when it's go time?
Well, I've been out dating for 12 years, but at this point I've been separated from my husband for about 5. It's been going on. We're about to make 6 years, 7 years separated. So I've been away from him for a minute, and I've dated since. After I left him, I didn't date for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. But then I started, once I moved to the DMV, I've been to the DMV for 5 years now. And that's when I started to date when I moved here. I didn't date when I was in New York, really. So, yeah, when I got in this one, I said to them, I said, I don't know how they're going to feel about this blonde hair and tattoos. I don't know what they're going to think about it, because I'm a baddie. Your sis gonna give these men whiplash. You're gonna break your neck. I'm gonna walk past and you're gonna trip. You're gonna choke on some water or something. I'm gonna turn them heads, but I'm still realistic that it's a lot. Not a lot for me, but for somebody like, okay, blonde hair or all those tattoos. So I told them that was one of my concerns, was that they would be like, wow, or that they would just look at my physicality and don't try to dig deeper. Oh, she's curvy, she has a nice body, dang, and then the book stops there.
Right.
And then I'm like, but this, I don't want that either. But it goes back to just saying, Aisha, just be you. Don't put no hot sauce on it. Don't put no stank on it. I'm Aisha. Bronx accent, New York accent. What's up?
Right.
And then they loved it.
Yeah, everybody did. When you came into the mansion, like, who caught your eye automatically? Like, okay, this, just from the looks, this is the kind of guy I'm feeling.
Frank.
All right.
Frank caught my eye first. I say all the time, Frankie baby caught my eye. He's big, and I like him big. I don't know how tall Frank is. He's not as tall as I usually like them, because I like him like 6 feet. 6'5". I like them like 6'5". So he's not as tall as I like him. I like him 6'5". And I like him a little husky. So he definitely had the husky part. And so I was like, ooh, okay, who's this? I like it. What's up? Big old shoulders, big old burly bear. Yeah. So I was feeling Frank. And then his voice, he had a really, really nice voice. Frank has this like really nice voice. He has it low, it vibrates. I'm like, this man know what he doing. Yeah, and then once he told me he was from Ghana, I'm like, ain't you African? You right, turn it. I found my husband. I found it. But we see how quickly physical attraction can dwindle when you start to learn someone, right?
Yeah.
Because that was Frank's aesthetic that caught me. Right. And although he's a dope brother, but the more we were connected, we didn't mesh well with each other.
Right.
So the physical part was there. We had that on lock. I think he physically was attracted to me, but I think once we moved past that, it didn't mesh well. And that's why the process for me was ask the right questions. Right. Date intentionally. Make sure these men make sense for you. Make sure it lines up with you. If it doesn't, move along. There's so many people that get caught up on, he looked good and she looked good, so I'm going to stay with this because this looked good. Does it feel good? Right. Is it good for you? Is it good for you? Yeah. Right. I think Phil had sent something on his last thing with Sydney said, like, this all makes sense to me. I can do this 7 days a week. Yeah. And I said, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I could wake up to this 7 days a week. I could wake you. Those are the questions. That's how you have to ask yourself these things. Can I wake up to this?
Right.
Does this feel good? Or am I just gonna wake up to the shell that's beautiful or sexy or handsome, and then what we have left? You know. So again, amazing. I think Frank is amazing, but I think it stopped at we both looked good together. Right. And I didn't want something that just looked good together. I wanted us to feel good together.
Right. Because we saw early on there was chemistry there. We saw the photo booth and we saw the dating there. There was some chemistry that was there. And then what we saw was, okay, Frankie went bye-bye. You know, that you didn't see too much that was there. And now you explain it. It was just there's a physical there, but you wasn't getting exactly everything that you wanted.
Yeah, because I wanted to chase. And so he didn't chase. And so I'm not chasing you. And so we ended, you know, and I don't think it was a bad end. It wasn't, nothing bad on his part. I just felt like, let's move along. And then we found ourselves with, everybody know I had a thing for Phil. Phil was my most vulnerable space, my comfort space. Yeah, I felt safe with Phil. I really did. I can tell him anything. I felt secure with him. We had this commonality, which was New York. That was our common flow. You from Queens, I'm from the Bronx, two different sides of the track, but nevertheless it's Bronx and nevertheless it's New York. Right. And nobody gets you like another New Yorker. So I think with him, we had that comfort in each other. Right. And again, it was like I could trust him, I could talk to him. He's a great listener. But then it was some moments where I felt like when it was time to wind down, he was stretched too thin. He was stretched too thin, and it was like, okay, what's happening? What is this looking like? I gave y'all room to do whatever. Remember, I said I want the men to make the best decisions that work for them. So stretch, but it still has to make sense when it's time to wind in. Right. And then I think at that point we both started to feel energy shifts where Dante then became, I've always talked on the phone with Dante, but we never had a date. So when we got into the mansion, it was just like the aha moment, like, ooh. And then I think also when Sydney was entered into the picture, Phil, that was his stretch mark that way. Right. And I was okay with that. That's what I mean too with the process is go and be confident in who you are so no one feels like a threat to you. Right. Right. So I wasn't threatened by her. She's gorgeous. So I'm like, okay, go explore that. We had a date that, you guys didn't see, but it was like, go explore that. See what that looks like. I'm going to go see over here what Dante looks like. And if we meant to be, we'll find each other. And if not, then you enjoy your new connection and I'm going to enjoy mine. And that's literally how it was. And we just moved. And then with Dante and I, it's just once I laid out, like, this is what I want. This is what I want my life to look like. What do you want your life to look like? What is your plans? Everything was like, oh, me too. Oh, me too. Oh, me too. Oh, really? You want that too? I bet. This is what I'm asking for, right? And I got you. What's up? What you think I can't do that? And it was like, okay, well, you better talk that to me. Because, Chicago and New York, we sort of the same too. Right. He caught my drift. He caught what I was putting down. So, and he picked it up real quick. And that's what I liked about him. It's like, he's the calm. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I overthink and he'll calm me down. And he's very calm like that. And I really like that about him. Yeah.
I want to touch on this real quick because we we're going to settle on the Dante topic. We're going to settle there. But I want to say the one thing that you pointed out with Phil was about you being vulnerable. And I think that was one of y'all's conversation that was one of the more transparent moments of the show when you talk to him about the baby thing and how you say, I don't want any kids. That's the wall I put up is I don't want any kids. But what it actually is this. And so many times, speaking from experience, being a woman that has experienced that too, so many times women don't always talk about that. We don't talk about pregnancy loss. We don't talk about the inadequacies we may feel because we can't hold a baby. Or I give you a look from me. My mom lost 2 or 3 babies between my sister and me. It's 10 years between me and my sister. And then she had me. and my brother back to back. So God blessed in that respect. But yes, so many women go through that. And I just loved and appreciated the fact that you didn't keep that to yourself, just you and Phil, that you allowed that to be part of the show and to give strength to other women.
So I've kept it to myself for more than 16 years. It was one of my traumas in my life that I wanted to keep to myself.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I think, stepping into this fertility issues and stuff is a journey that I have to still convince myself I'm strong enough to do. So when I say I'm healed and healing, that's still my healing journey.
Yeah.
I've healed in other areas, but losing a baby is something that is still very hard for me to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's still my healing journey.
Yeah.
I became vulnerable with him because he deserved to know the truth.
Yeah.
If you're in the process, Aisha, why hold back?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just keep saying, well, because I don't have a kid. It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, if you're going to be vulnerable, something was hitting on me heavy, like, just say it, just say it, just say it. And I just had to let him know. And then that's what it goes back to, laying your chips out and letting people choose. Because if I left the process with Phil saying I don't want kids just because I don't want kids, and then Phil and I left the process, and then he's badgering me for a kid later on, like, why won't you have a kid? Like, we still young, let's do this. And then finally, because I don't hold kids well. And then now it's like, whoa, I wish you would have told me that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'm not going to hold back important pieces of me because I want you to decide.
Right.
And it was, I think, one of the hardest moments I've ever had to do in my life is to, because I knew this was going to be televised.
Mm-hmm. And
realistically, Phil is still a stranger to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm telling this man as much as I'm vulnerable with him and I believe in transparency, I'm telling this man my hurt part of me that's not ready to heal yet. That hasn't done the deepest part of the work with me, with that part of me. Mm-hmm. I'm healed and I'm healing. I still need a little bit more time with that.
Yeah.
I need a little bit more time for that to sit in my spirit. I need to hold that baby still belongs to me. I need that for me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to let go yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said I can definitely understand you. I'm with you, sister. I'm with you, and I pray.
I'm shaking, sir.
Yeah, no, I pray that you get to the place where you are healed. You are healed, and we never forget. We never forget those babies. We never, that, but it won't hurt so bad.
Yeah,
it won't hurt so bad. So I'm praying for healing in that area for you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So.
And I think when you shared that, it hit some of the men as well, because I think sometimes people forget how women does it physically affects them. Because we lost 2 children. She couldn't carry 2, but as a man, it affects you as well, because that's one of the few things as a man, as we are fixers by nature. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that as a man you could not fix. Mm-hmm. You could not change. You could not. You can't even begin to express how she feels because you didn't feel it kick. You didn't feel it move. You didn't feel it deal with it. And so I think, and so none of that. So many times we deal with the women aspect of it, but as a man who goes through that as well, there's some emotional healing that men have to go through as well, because in your mind you begin to think about a lot of things. And so when you said that on camera, it made me think again how I felt the day we found out that we lost a child, and how many men don't have that support system that's out there who will be able to help them, or how many men who are living in silence because they've never said anything to anybody when they've been with a woman who had lost a child, and he's out there now, he's dealing with that, or he's dealing with that issue because everyone dresses the women with that.
Yeah.
No one ever addressed how did it affect the man, the father. This seed not coming to fruition. There was no harvest. The thing that he planted, he didn't get to see a harvest out of. And so we deal with women a lot on that time, but we also got to deal with men from that aspect as well. Just wanted to share that because I think that moment touched us in so many different levels where everybody looking at the women's side of it, but how do you deal with the men where he's a fixer, he's a producer, but the thing that he planted never came to fruition or produced.
Yeah.
See, and I think this is the stuff that we find a lot of participants in Ready to Love walk away with. Courtney said it on the reunion. You know, she didn't walk away with love, but she felt like her journey wasn't over. People are healing. As much as it's reality TV, you know, there are some people that are walking away with a revelation of, wow, I didn't know this was me. I didn't know I needed help with this. I didn't know I needed to change this. And as much as people may talk about it, that's the part that I'm like, wow. And that's why I really, as you said it earlier when you were talking, that's why I feel like your friend was like, the spirit is unctioning me and telling me this is for Aisha, not just for love, but to do this,
to do this
work.
Whatever this is, whatever this is, everyone wanting to see me, wanting to hear me talk, whatever this is, because it helps with my journey still too.
Absolutely.
And then it helps, like, so many women and men have been in my DM, like, you don't understand. It's refreshing to hear a woman say that I get to go and I matter too. It's refreshing to hear a woman say that, man, it's okay for you to say what you want and voice it. It's okay. And I'm like, we all get to go.
Yeah.
We all get to go. It ain't, I'm a woman's woman, but sis, sometimes we need a reality check on our own women too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we have to, like we just said, Glenn, it's like, it's the same, like, what about the man experience?
Right.
Yeah.
What about his, so these are the conversations that I feel like helps the community, helps our community, helps us. It helps us to undig traumas and then say, this is it. Let's walk through it. Because sometimes we sometimes we think we're the only person that went through something.
Yes.
You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what happened to me. How dare you? And it's like, you want to hear some stuff?
Right.
I got a chest full of stuff. You want some of it? And I think once we talk about it, it's like, oh, that happened to me. Oh, I thought I just stubbed my pinky toe compared to you, Right. And it's not putting what's greater on each other's trauma, but it's like, then you realize, well, goddamn.
Right.
I thought I was the only one in this damn boat.
Right.
Well, you come in this boat with me too, and let's pedal our asses to help. Like, So it's like, I think everybody's so big on trying to make everything look like pretty china.
Right.
That nobody wants to talk about what's cracked.
Right.
And what's stained. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's beauty and flawedness. It's beauty and flaws.
I was about to say,
it's
those
beauty and flaws.
Those stains are what make you unique and make you who you are. Don't be ashamed of the cracks or the stains. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let's go. I feel the
I know.
Go back to, I know there was an incident with Phil. You had an accident, and Phil came to help you during the midst of your accident. Is that
he never came and helped me.
Okay, that's what we heard. He's like,
shoot.
He never came.
I said that over and over again, that he never came to help me. He just helped me as a friend by talking to me on the phone.
Okay, okay.
It was too early for Phil to come, and I didn't. And after having such almost a deadly accident, Phil would not have been the first person that I wanted to help come to my side.
Okay.
I called my family first and my children, and I just needed a male energy, and he was one of the last people that I talked to. Okay. And so, like I said, for some reason we have this thing where I feel comfortable with him, and I called him. He was willing to come to get me, and I was just like, no. Don't come, but just calm me down. And he did that. Yeah, he definitely helped me do that.
You mentioned Sydney earlier, but Sydney wasn't only a newcomer that also came. Sean also came, and we saw your interactions with Sean.
Yeah, Sean had the chocolateness that I like, because I'm like, chocolate, baby. Let him be kissed by that son a few times. Put him back in the oven. He's not done.
Right.
No, put him in one more time. I need everything roasted, honey. Okay, that's enough. But I like them like that. Like, oh, you was in the oven 3 times over. I love it. I love a chocolate man. So that's why I was like, hello, chocolate,
Right.
So he definitely was like aesthetically pleasing too. It spoke to some of my taste buds that I liked. Fortunately he didn't get to live on a show very long. But we did have a good connection. But we wouldn't have worked because he also wants kids.
Right.
So our conversation was real, and our conversation was, well, what does it look like 5 years from now?
Right.
And you wake up saying, what about them babies? And then we're done. And so if your lineage gets to continue, and I'm going to be a realist in the fact that no matter what I may think of your physical part, it keeps going back to the same thing. Ask the right questions.
That's right.
So it seemed like when you came on here, you knew this, even though it's a competition per se, your mindset was, I'm not dealing with nothing else but finding the love. If the person's here for me, I'm going to window it down, or I'm going to use the words that you guys use on the show. I'm going to shrink it down. I'm going to shrink it down, right? I'm going to shrink it down to the person that's for me. That's for me. And, I think, when y'all went into that deliberation and the word shrinkage broke up, when it came up, I think people didn't understand what it meant, what you were saying when you say, let's shrink the list down. Let's get it together. Also, to put in perspective, when we interviewed Tasia a couple of weeks ago.
But Tasia said it's time to shrink.
Yeah, Tasia said,
right.
Right. Tasia said time to shrink it down. She put a perspective that at that point, you guys were 6 to 7 weeks in, and people had multiple people that they still had. And it was like, okay, let's bring this bad boy together. But it seemed like you became I don't want to say the scapegoat for everybody's aggression.
Yeah. And I was okay with it being that people still had multiple connections, because I wanted to make sense to you. Right. The process still was going to move along. People were still going to vote you off or stay on either way. I didn't feel like people needed to be saying that just because it's, we filmed for 10 weeks, but even though it's week 5, I didn't feel like you need to be saying, all right, I want you and only you.
Right.
I personally felt like that. The point of her saying shrink did make sense to I was like, I feel like they should stretch, but I understand what you're saying. If you're saying you think they should shrink, in your opinion, that could make sense too. But I'm okay with them still saying I like 3 people, because I still liked 2-3 people. We got 5 more weeks. That's still a long time to me. It's not that very long, but I still want it to make sense for me. So maybe by week 7, I can say now I dropped one other person off. But for me, I just didn't, even though the process is rushed, I didn't want to rush the process.
Right.
And I didn't want the men to feel like I was rushing them through the process.
Right.
Because I couldn't imagine myself going to Phil or Frank you have to choose me. Like, what is this right now? And they're like, well, dang. All right, I didn't even get to talk to many people yet, And then they throw them off, because I feel like that push sometimes turns men off. Yeah, for sure. Can you give me 2? My phone is steady and it's about to die because I'm at my shop. Let me plug this in real quick.
No problem.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys. Do you have a theme music real quick?
No, we're good. We're going to talk to the viewers.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, for those who are there, why Aisha gets taken care of, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you drop a question in the chat. We enjoy the chat that's going on right now. Currently, continue to chat in the chat box. Once again, we'll get into more depth. Ready to Love, but we like to find out who the person is.
Absolutely.
We see who they are in Ready to Love, which is a small glimpse of who they actually really are. So, hey, just continue in the chat box. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like. Go ahead and share this with somebody else. And we appreciate all you who are watching. Thank you for watching. we count it an honor for you guys to watch. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're so glad to have y'all. I see some special people in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So glad to have you. Glad to have you. Let's see. I see y'all making a comment about nights like this. I wish that Eddie came.
Hey, look, that's my. When she said that made me go watch. That's my favorite movie. 5 Heartbeats. Could watch it all day long.
Yeah. I see you talking about her consulting her kids. Yeah, I think that was awesome. That was awesome because so many times people don't involve their kids in the situation. So you got to understand that the person you're bringing in will be involved with them as well. And
so, hey, Dante, thanks for being in the chat. Appreciate
yes,
you.
sir.
Appreciate you there. I saw Tyrone in the chat a little bit earlier. Thank you for being in there as well. So we appreciate you guys for your support. And for all those men out there that if you have lost a child or you feel some type of way, leave that in the chat as well. If you have never had a chance to express it or to talk about it, because that's something that we as men have not been able to do or have not been able to be healed from. It's just not just women when a child is lost. So it's also men who have some issues or deal with that.
Yeah. I see somebody else that hit home with Miss Raynell.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless you. And we're checking the chat too. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, we'll try our best. We kind of peeking over there. So if you got any questions, we take care of that. Try to get that answered for you. Huh?
Oh, good. I can filibuster. No, I can talk.
We are enjoying.
I do this all day long.
I know y'all are enjoying. We are really enjoying talking to Miss Iesha. What y'all think about her hair?
Yeah.
What y'all think about her hair? If you didn't know, that's her signature. What you think about it? We love it.
Love the look.
We love it.
Love the look. Love the tattoos. She brings the energy. I think the show. She brought the energy to the show. She brought the energy to each and every week to see what she would say, what she would do, what she would look, and we know that she is a beautiful person inside and out. So that's one of the great things that's there. And when we get to talking about her and Dante, they do complement each other very, very well. Yeah. So that's something that we're working up to and understand that it is a process. Mm-hmm. And one thing I like about it, she said she came in for the process. She came in asking the right questions because at the end of the day, you want to leave with the right person.
That's right.
You want to leave with the right person, not necessarily being the final 3, the final 1, or the final 2, or whatever case may be. But you want to leave with a person that this could last for a while and over a period of time and some issues. So you know what? It is great to see somebody who has a good mindset.
Yeah, I like that. Miss Sandra. Yep, change it up. You got to change it up.
Oh man, how did we make it to 20 years? Oh man, that's a long question, but no, it's a good question. Truth be told. Being friends first, A-Red, one of the things, we were friends first. We were college friends first. She lived above me in the dorm of the school that we went to, and I'll shout it out, Coppin State University,
CSC,
right? Baltimore, Maryland, right?
Baltimore,
all right, Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland. We met. She lived above me, and we just became friends. This was my cousin, as people would know, cousin, but no, eventually she became my wife, and we communicate. We have some good times, with some bad times, but we're both grounded. I think that's where we communicate very well with each other, very, very well. Even when we work in the same office at home. All right, and she's a bad cube mate with all my phone calls and text messages, but we communicate about everything. We talk about it all. This is my buddy. This is my friend. So that's where how we did it. We was able to communicate and sit down and have discussions, not argue at each other, point fingers, but literally have discussions about what we're going to do, where we're going to go, how we're going to get there, and what it's going to take for us to get there. And it may sacrifice a little bit, the good and the bad, from the loss of children to the loss of jobs, to a whole bunch of other stuff that, but we was able to continue to work together and got 3 wonderful children out of product in 20 years. Tools I can share, listen to each other. One of the tools that I can share is just to listen. I know as a man, sometimes I'm a quick thinker. So as she was talking, I'm already trying to figure out how can I fix this, right? Because I don't want to see her hurt, don't want to see her upset. Not that she's not intelligent enough, she's very intelligent enough to fix it herself. She's real smart, right? To fix it herself and to maneuver herself. She just want to share. And so when I learned how to just listen and not try to fix, I think that took our relationship to another level. Yeah. To let her know you're intelligent, I trust you. If you need my help, I'm there. I got your back. If you need me to go to the job and mess with somebody, I got you. You know, I can do that myself. I know how to put on a black hoodie and some Timbs, and I'm just
I can do that myself.
But nah, that's one of the things. But we just have fun, and we have fun. We joke all the time. Our kids see us joke. Our kids see us laugh. They see us hug. They see us kiss. Our church members see that. Oh, we kiss. I mean, how did they get here? I mean, I'm just saying they had to start somewhere, but we do all those things. So that's one of the things that is key for us to get here in 20 years. You know.
So yeah, thank y'all for hanging in there as Miss Iesha gets her phone straight and everything. Thank y'all for hanging in there.
Oh yeah, we appreciate you guys. And while you're there, man, check out some of our reviews on the channels. Make sure you subscribe. Again, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our interviews or reviews that we may come up with. So make sure you hit that as well. Yeah. As my daughter says, my little 8-year-old says, give
it a big thumbs up.
Give it a big thumbs up. So check that out. You can also check out on iTunes, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, Matrimony Thoughts podcast as well. So
thank you, Miss Adrian.
Thank you.
Thank you, A Red. Oh, you know, we might find out. She did say she's in Maryland,
so we'll
try to find out exactly where. At the end, we'll let her give her shopper shout out.
We'll let her shout out. Let y'all visit her business. Now, if you go to her business, go get your hair done.
Yeah, don't be going to be nosy.
Don't go to be nosy. Go
support.
Go support and get your hair did. All right, go ahead and get your hair done. So don't be nosy. Just go get it done. Leave some money there. All right?
Yeah. So into her business.
So into the business.
So into her business.
So that's what we want you. Well, thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss Sandra.
Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you.
You know, Ready to Love. I mean, how many of y'all watching Ready to Love tomorrow night? Like DMV coming. They got they got the name right. The DMV.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about the fact that they're doing another season, another show so fast? How y'all feel about that? I feel like it's so fast. Like,
I enjoy it.
I don't know. Give us a minute to recuperate from the one we just watched, the DC one. I feel like I need a minute. Go get pink. Yeah.
I don't need a minute. I think they're ready. It was there. Let's get this show. You know, let's crank it out while we can. I mean, it's getting the ratings. So it's getting ratings. People love it from all races, and we show it. We like it. So guess what? Get it where it's at.
Miss Jocelyn said it's too soon. And that's how I feel. I feel like it's too soon. Give us a minute. Like, even though we had a previous season, thank you, Miss Donna. Even though we had a previous season, you know, we had the two groups, Houston people, you know, we had a little gap in between. I feel like we needed just a little bit of time again to recoup. And
for those of you just joining us, you know, give us a process. Aisha's taking care of some business. She's coming back on in a second. And so we're going to finish up the interview, but just give us a minute. Thank you for dropping messages in the chat. You know, I see you saying you're still processing the season.
For real.
And it's still a lot of the process in the season. There's a lot of new stories and new things coming out daily about this season that just passed. So yeah, we're still processing the season, and we're gonna have the next season on top of it to process as well. So we're gonna put DC and DMV together and just process a lot.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see what these next participants gonna be like. Are we going to have the same kind of drama? We're going to see. Thank you, Miss Jocelyn.
Yeah, I don't think we had I think this one is the way the preview show. It looked a little spicy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't get a backstory on other people and we come in.
Right. We get it from the jump.
You get it from the jump, right from the get-go.
Thanks, Red.
All right. We get these people right from from the get-go. So we get to see who the new cast members are. We get to see, right there. So we get to learn them before as they go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, it looks nice. It looks hot and spicy. And not saying this season past wasn't hot because I think a lot of people made some connections, but you see there's a little bit more physicality from the previews in this season, new season coming
Miss
up.
Angela representing the BX2. All right. I represent the VA, 2 up, 2 down.
So I'm part of that. I'm part of that DMV family.
Is that DMV?
It is. It's Maryland.
Southern Maryland is not DMV.
In my eyes, it is.
Who in the chat lives in the DMV? Southern Maryland is not the DMV. Tell my husband, please. Southern Maryland is not the DMV.
Look, I'm calling what Baltimore's not. I know that much.
Oh yeah, don't you ever
call Maryland.
Listen, side note, don't you ever call Baltimore part of the DMV. No. It's people in Prince George's County, PG County, and Baltimore that act like it's 2 different states almost. Almost. So don't ever get it mistaken. We went to school in Baltimore. Don't do it.
Hey, Red, answer your question. We have interviewed other Ready to Love cast members. Kalfani, Rashid, Ida.
From this season, we've done Miss Tasia so far. You can go back and check that one out. We talked to her. So, and we have a few more coming up.
A few more coming up. So be patient with us. A few more coming up. PG County, baby. Yes. What's up, Miss Johnson? PG County. That's what I'm talking about. See.
Yeah, my sister lives in PG.
So we be in the DMV every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
So we're there. We're there. So so it's one of the things. PG County is love it. There's nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like Baltimore.
What is the DMV? Sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So DC and surrounding counties and cities in Northern Virginia and the lower part of Maryland. So like
Jac And Glen, I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm about to lose a client. I forgot I had her under the dryer. And she like, oh, you baking me, Aisha? I'm like,
no problem.
But she was my last client for the night. Sorry.
You good? We're bringing you back now. No problem. We're just talking with all the subscribers.
What was y'all chatting about?
With the DMV, because I'm from Maryland, right? I'm originally from Maryland, so excuse me. Oh, there we go. I'm from Maryland, and so we're explaining what the DMV is: DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I'm from Southern Maryland, down in the country, right? Calvert County.
Yeah, he's from the country.
The country Maryland, right? Part of Maryland. You go down Route 4 and you just keep running, right? And you see when you start seeing tobacco fields, that's where I'm from. And so, but that's still, to me, it's still the DMV. Now we don't live there now, but to me, it's DMV.
So break that down, because when I moved here, it's like the counties. Y'all have counties.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Upper Marlboro, and then they like, no, it's not called Upper Marlboro no more. It's not called Landover no more. No, it's not Upper Landover no more. It's called Upper. I don't know. It kept saying all these different divisions, and I was like, this is weird. What? And then people like, no, either you're from PG County or you're really from Southern or you're really from, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, they break it down because in DC, certain parts of DMV, certain parts of Maryland, Virginia, and DC are connected in that area. So the name DMV came in, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So a lot of people in that area, once you go past PG, people really don't associate so much with the DMV. Because you can't put Baltimore in the group of DMV.
No,
they
Lord.
Don't want to be in part of
don't
it.
Do
and
it.
so when you say VA, you can't put Richmond in part of the DMV.
Why is that?
It's down too far.
Down too far.
So
it's neither Northern Virginia, the center parts of Maryland, the city parts of Maryland that connect to DC, and it stops right above PG County.
So how come Baltimore, Maryland is not considered Maryland?
It's Maryland.
It just ain't DMV.
But the people in Baltimore don't consider themselves part of the DMV, and you don't.
We went to college in Baltimore, so Baltimore people and PG people, they used to beef real hard. And I'm like, I didn't understand because I'm from Virginia. I'm like, it's all Maryland. No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
I learned that when I moved here.
Yeah. I think it's a whole different world. So that's a whole different podcast, a whole different interview on just the DMV and the history of it.
Because Libba rep her DC so hard.
I know that's right.
Libba be like, go music. I'm like, I don't know.
Jump to one of my,
that's one of the things that transcends though, because even though I'm from Virginia, I'm from the western part of Virginia. Like we still love go-go. It's like
I'm sorry, none of y'all kill me, but I can't get with go-go.
For me, it was like I liked go-go, and so then going to Baltimore, they got Baltimore club music. That's what I couldn't get used to. I was like, "What is this?" But I started to like it. I was like,
"What is Baltimore club music like? Tech
house, a little bit tech house."
It's like house. It's like house music, but not quite. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. Just know parties at our college was like it was like kind of schizophrenic, going between the club music and the go-go, and who want to play what.
You gotta play a little Rare Essence, little back, little drum. You gotta play, you gotta play little go-go bands everywhere we go. But I know some of my DC people out there is like, hey, go-go, check it out.
It's so funny. I didn't know doing the butt was go-go.
Yes.
And that is a New York song. Like right. In New York, every house party we bump doing the butt. Yep. And I was like, that's go-go? Yeah. I had no idea.
Yes. EU.
Shake your thing. Salt and pepper, shake your thing.
Really?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when she said with the go-go swing. Yeah.
Yeah. Go-go. But I literally love it in the DMV.
Gotcha.
I mean, so much Black excellence here.
Yeah.
It is beautiful to see. I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, like New York is a big melting pot, but it is like, I feel like it's refreshing to see me every time I walk down the street.
Oh yeah. Right. Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Like I really enjoyed that. I really did.
Yeah. So we want to bring it on back to, we talked about you and Frank, we talked about you and Phil, but you ultimately settled on Dante.
Look at that smile. Yeah. Look at
that smile. Ultimately not settled.
Well, yeah, not that kind of way. Yeah.
Ultimately, Phil and Dante caught me.
Yeah.
When you guys got to the house, how did y'all end up, getting there together?
You said, how did we what?
When you got to the house, how did you and Dante end up in the kitchen cooking?
So he picked me up. So prior to the trip, they allowed certain people to pair up and drive together.
Mm-hmm.
So Dante had to pick me and Momim up. So Momim was in the back and I was in the front seat. And on the ride first to our pickup point for her, when he picked me up and I got in the car, remember me and Dante talk a lot on FaceTime. I said our phone connection was offline because what the producers couldn't do is follow a million connections, right? And so he had stronger connections in the beginning. And so did I. So they couldn't follow every connection. So him and I, we always talked on the phone, constantly FaceTime. And so I think our bond was built that way. But we had never, other than being in our meeting point where we meet up with the producers and we all do, our green screens and stuff together. We had never just been in an intimate space with each other. And so when he was allowed to pick me up, the first time he picked me up and we were driving and he held my hand, it was over. I literally got tingly butterflies. I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't stop laughing. And we just kept sneaking looks at each other. And it was like, hi. And I just kept saying, hi, Dante. And it's so funny because I do that to this very day. I was, hi, Dante. And he's like, hi, Aisha. And I'm like, hi, Dante. And I was just like, whoa. So now, remember, I like these other guys. Mm-hmm. But when you know, right?
Right.
When you know. like, dang, I like these other guys. They made me smile. They made me blush. They made me show my big old teeth and my big cheekbones went all the way to... But man, oh man.
Look at it. You can still.
Hi, Dante. And so he kept saying all the dates that we didn't get. You know, I want to take this opportunity to date you.
Mm-hmm.
If you will allow that to happen. I'm like, yeah, I'm with it. And now we had to like give, you know, we're going to be on this retreat for a few days. So
right.
They asked us for a list of food, and I love to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I gave the producers the list of food, and I made sure to give them vegan options because I know Dante's a strict vegan. So I wanted to make sure that he had options too.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we got in the house, I'm like, I'm going to cook for everyone. And do you want to be my sous chef? And he's like, yeah. So we ended up cooking together. And we were just such in sync. Like, I'm like, can you stir? And he'd be like, I'm already stirring it. I'm like, where's that knife? He's like, here go the knife. Like,
wow.
It literally, I promise you, I'm not putting no stank on it. Literally. I will be looking for the knife. He's like, I got it already. I was about to rinse. I just rinsed it off to give it to you. I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know what I was looking for. You're like, and it's like, where's it? He's like, I got it right here. Do you want me to cut it up for you? I'm like, And I'm like, the fact that everything we did in the kitchen, it was no, you know, like sometimes you get in a kitchen with somebody, if you ever like had a party or been at a family member house with somebody and y'all bumping into each other and spilling stuff, and it's like you're trying to get around and maneuver around somebody. We glided right past each other. Pass me this. I got it. You need this? Hey. And it was just like, everything flowed. And so it just made sense. And then from there, it was like he brought his massage table to give me my massage. I had no idea that he was going to do that. And that was his personal massage table. And that he asked the producers, can he set up for me?
Wow.
And it was just like, like, let me be soft and pink. Yes. Rub on his booty. I always want this damn booty rub, y'all. Please. People don't say in my comment, like, Aisha always talking about them. Listen, it's been a long time since I got this little booty rub, okay?
Booty rub.
I'm stingy with this booty. So if I finally find somebody worthy to rub this booty, can I enjoy a good booty rub? Can y'all let Aisha live?
We can say that you, look, the smile on your face, we already know that you enjoyed that booty rub.
I enjoyed it. I say it all the time, like Dante's a really good guy. He's a really good guy. He's very one of the good guys that doesn't get, you know, people won't give a chance, you know, because they counted him out as the underdog. Hell, they'd even counted me out, you know. Right. I feel like the viewers, like, it's like now the underdog's on top. Like, you know, I feel like singing that song because me at one point too, it was, look at her, like, oh my God. Just from our promo pictures, people was like, oh God, she looked like she gonna start trouble.
Right.
Some bloggers was like saying that. Like my sister would be like, I'm about to go in on this blogger. They got your pic, the show didn't even start, and they say you a troublemaker. And I'm about to go. I'm like, don't go off.
Right.
Let them see. Let them see for themselves. Let them see. And they're like, no, because why would they say that? I'm like, people like to judge shells.
Yeah.
And so I think he was also like with his situation, with his, you know, not situation, with his life and his beautiful children and his beautiful mothers of his children. I think people try to count that against him.
Right.
Without getting to know the man, Dante. And I think now the world is finally, and the viewers rather are finally seeing that he is an upstanding man. And I'm like, just let people just show up. You know, stop judging so much.
Right.
Because now look at, in all the midst of all the chaos that happened on his show, you guys got to witness some real love happening.
Yeah. True. You know,
I like that, and I like that you said that too, because that was Dante's thing too. He was always upfront about it. I have 3 kids with 3 baby mothers.
He don't say baby mothers. He hates.
I'm sorry. 3 mothers. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, and so then you make the decision if you want to deal with me or not. And if not, it's fine. I'm on to the next one.
Period. And that's how he moved, and I respect it, because I asked the questions, like I kept saying, am I going to pick a bum? Am I gonna pick, if I'm healed and healing and I have done the healing journey, am I gonna pick a bum for the sake of TV?
Right.
So do you not think, as awake as you people see I am, do you really think I'm not gonna align myself with somebody who's moving in the same direction as me?
Right.
And again, like I said, don't also get so invested in us that forget that we're really flesh.
Right.
And that we're not actors, we are human beings.
Right.
And that if potentially this does not work, that part is okay too.
Right. Right.
That part is okay too. Although I am intentionally moving and I am intentionally seeking the man who speaks to me. And though Dante spoke to those things, but if it does not work, that part is okay. We have been 5 months in, and in 5 months in, we have been up, we have been down, we have been around, but we have been in it.
Right.
And we deciding that this is what we want, and this is what it looks like what we want. So we're gonna make this work for us because we want to put in the work. It's not magical because you did healing. It's not magic.
Right.
It's still work. Relationships, coexisting, work, children, life, time. You have 24 hours in a day. I have to give this much time for this person, this much time to work, and then I have to find my time for you. It's still work.
Yeah.
We are not walking out the TV screen and that seeing you still on Roosevelt Island, we're not still spinning in that same circle.
Right.
Even though y'all look beautiful in that circle.
Don't get caught up in fantasy. Move with intent, but be realist about your intent.
Right.
I think that's something that key that you were saying, intention. What is your intention? You had intention and a mindset and a game plan to get involved. And when you felt that, when you had that feeling, when he held that hand and you felt tingling all in your body, another set of intention, like, okay, I really may want to get to know this guy. And then when you started moving in the kitchen with each other, that intention got even more serious. And now you're like, you know what? And then when he put his hands on them booty, you're like, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Like, this intention right here. I got some new insight. I got some new intention right now, right? But but you can feel that when that person's there and you're vibing, you're clicking, and you're having that conversation, and you want to be with that person. When you hang up, you're like, man, I need to call him right back. But y'all just already been on the phone for like 3 or 4 hours, but you still want to call. And so you have that intention that's there. You guys cooked a great dinner for everybody is there, right? You sit down and you starting to have this dinner. How do we go from having a great dinner, everybody enjoying your food, everybody's enjoying your food, because I just think, enjoying your food, eating, stomachs full, to how we ended up and for what we saw. And, paint the picture for what we did not see to get to where we saw the whole situation that went down.
Jac Glen. Jac and Glen. If somebody cook a meal for you, or you gonna go talking crazy to them?
No. I was just about to say. You were kind enough to fix a good meal, not no halfway, not no bland, good seasoned meal.
I made sauteed shrimp. I made baked macaroni and cheese. I made roasted asparagus with garlic. I made a kale melody with onions and mushrooms and tomatoes. I made a vegan macaroni and cheese. I made a vegan sausage stir fry. I made white sticky rice. I threw down. And because I love to cook, that was nothing but love.
Right.
How dare you?
Right.
How dare you? How dare you? How horrible to do that to someone.
Right.
As you stuff your face with the food, you, in the same breath, want to try to attack.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got there. I want to know how it got there. I know we were talking, and then the next thing I know, Camille is slinging insults of threats of I'm gonna F you up.
Right.
And then Zadia is attacking right behind. And then I'm standing up for myself and everyone else there.
Yeah.
And it's literally was like that. What's happening? We're talking about this process, and hey guys, if this happens in the voting process and Cornelius has to go home, then what happens? Well, I'm gonna F you people up. What? Well, let's not use that. Let's figure this out, because that's not gonna happen.
Right.
That, you know, and I didn't have to get in her face and be like, what do you mean you gonna I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
And even like I keep saying, even though tensions, you know, voices got elevated when I was talking to Zadia, I was just meeting her energy. I didn't jump out of my seat. I never was gonna jump out of my seat. I'm not putting my hands on people. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not threatening you. I'm not calling you out your name. Any of those things. I'm not, as I'm walking away from the table, you're calling, okay, Bugs Bunny. I'm not doing these childish antics. I'm not doing any of it. So, because my purpose of being here was one of these men. Or like I have said consistently, my biggest purpose is, if not for the very most, to show up as a Black woman with some sense on the television screen.
Right.
A Black woman with some healing sense, and a Black woman that's really sure of herself, and she doesn't have to play these little games in order to seek attention. I even wanted to show up for the Black men. I wanted them to see what it looks like to love a man. I want to hold you accountable for courtship.
Right.
I want to hold you accountable for courtship. I want you to understand that we deserve this too.
Yeah.
Come after us. No, I don't chase. No, yes, you do. Chase us. It's okay. It does not make you less of a man.
Right.
It makes you actually a man. A man of conviction, a king who knows he wants what he wants and he's gonna go for it. When did they start telling men that courting women was for cornballs? When did this memo go out? And I want to know, did you guys go to a man's man meeting and they said, hey guys, don't you court these women no more? Like, what happened? Like, where was this? Like, y'all was at Al Bundy garage and just like no man meetings, like, you know?
Right.
Like, I want to know. Because the art of courtship is gone, and I wanted to show Black men, like, it's okay to love us. Show up and court us. Come get us. Because we will receive it.
Right.
And if you do it correctly, you will be appreciated. And I just want it from all aspects, men and women that look like me, to understand that we deserve this.
Yeah. You know, even after the scene, after she said, you know, she'll F you guys up or F whoever up who votes him out. Just me, I'm an analytical type person. And just sitting at home, I'm doing the mathematics anyway. Like, okay, this person with that person, this person with that person, this person with that person, this person with this. And I know it's a game. So if they just got these two, eventually if she goes home first, he's going home because he ain't got no connection.
And vice versa.
So eventually both of y'all gonna be out of there sooner or later. So what's the hostility from if you have your man?
And the other thing is, which we've seen outside of the show, is just because you don't make it to the end doesn't mean you can't find love.
I want you guys to understand me and hear me good. We do not get money at the end.
Right.
We do not get this is your car. Vanna White does not come out.
Right.
And this keys to a brand new Lexus. And you and your mate ride off into the sunset.
Right.
We do not get to pick a mystery box and there's money in it. The prize is walking away with a mate.
Right.
And if it ended with a mate in the middle, 3/4, or the end, you walk away with a mate. That's the only purpose of this show.
Exactly.
Correct.
The purpose of the show is to do what you have done wrong. Stop doing what you have done wrong. Be in the process among people. Don't do your obvious choice. ask your questions, dig deeper, date, and then find your love.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have made that and you have locked in on each other beautifully, that's beautiful. That is actually commendable. That's not the issue. We have to stop saying people because, well, yeah, I'm mad at them because they locked in on date. Nobody is mad at that. That's not the issue. The issue is when you behaviors start to take place to manipulate you so you can stay.
Right.
You start manipulating the process for other people and doing these little antics and being rude and being aggressive and being catty. That is the only thing we talked about on the reunion. Not one person, not me, Sabrina, not Carrie, not Courtney, none of us, not Cindy, none of us said, oh, we're mad that he just chose her and only her and him.
Right.
We all said the bottom line was the disrespect.
Right.
Can you imagine going through a process in a dating process amongst people for 10 weeks and somebody is constantly poking you?
Right.
Constantly saying things that are rude. Constantly or being belittling and aggressive. And it's like, what is happening? What am I doing? Am I on Oprah or am I on Love and Hip Hop? And it go, and not to put down that show, but it keeps going back. So we know the type of behaviors that goes on certain shows, reality shows, right? Certain behaviors that happen on certain reality shows, we all be like, I ain't giving that. This is a show of a particular age.
Right.
The audience that watches this show is not 20-year-olds.
Correct.
It's not teenagers watching this show. This is a mature audience.
Right.
So what are we trying to give? What are we trying to portray? Do we want 15 minutes? Or do we really want to move through the process and then possibly, like Court said, you walk away with a new finding, a new understanding of yourself?
Right.
And when you said that in the dynamics of what was said, it seemed as if and that they wanted the extra 15 minutes. That it seemed like I want to be on here a little bit longer, much more so than I have my man until when as my grandma said, the rubber met the road, until he went home anyway. And now you want to self-eliminate because you understood that you was next. And just understanding the process of it, from what we've seen, I know you guys watch what we do. You was meaning Camille was at the bottom for the last couple of eliminations. Cornelius was at the bottom of the last couple of eliminations. So, and just as the viewer, like y'all are having conversations, meaning them, about we're at the bottom. So let's see if we can manipulate to stay longer. As you mentioned, for what reason? And so that's kind of what, as a viewer, you kind of assault the intelligence of the viewer, because we see that you're at the bottom. That there's no other connections that have there, that people have put you there at the bottom.
And like you said, that's fine. If you don't have any other connections, that's fine. Roll with what you got, and it's okay. If you get eliminated, you get eliminated. You can't get mad at us, because the other thing is, guess what? As participants, we didn't make up the structure of the show. That's the way the show is structured. Right. We didn't make this up.
I didn't make the rules.
Right.
And better yet, if you found each other and this is true love and you moved along the process with grace, I think people would have been more inclined to want to keep you there.
Yeah.
I think people would have been like, you know what? I don't talk to him or her, but yeah, let's let their story make it to the end. So that you can see a beautiful love song. But because people were like, this doesn't look like love. This doesn't look nor feel like love to us as the people experiencing it, like the outer energy that we're receiving. So think of a hula hoop effect. The energy is like, whew, whew, and it's bumping all of us in the face. We're like, this don't feel good. Maybe y'all staying in love, and if y'all are, again, great, that's amazing. But it's not radiating love.
Right.
And if the show is ready to love, and Tommy says, who do you feel is not ready to love? Well, that don't really look like love to me, so I'm gonna say no.
Right.
You know, and so that's one thing we as viewers picked up, that you could feel some of that, because as viewers you look like, is this love or this somebody who doesn't want to be there? You know, but
It seemed like a lot.
it seemed like a lot. But you know, move on. So after you guys had the dinner, we don't see, how was the rest of the night? You know, did everyone just go their separate ways? I know
Dante sent me to calm me down. That's what you saw after the massage.
Yep.
And then I went to bed. I stated I did not speak to anyone during the process. Mm-hmm. So it was no need for me to sit under this, you know, around. I don't drink.
Right.
And I'm not there to fraternize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't want Dante up under me.
Right.
Either. That's how open I am to the process. Go enjoy the people, because he speaks to one. He speaks to everyone.
Right.
Go enjoy it, but I'm gonna go to bed. And that's literally how. So I can't tell you how the night ended, but he said in his interview that when he left after he tucked me in, he was met with more antics. And are you finished making your sex tape? And you know, and stuff like that, and which rubbed him wrong. You know, so again, the nastiness, the crassness, it's like, where's your tact? You know, where's your cool fat? Like, what's going on? Why are you saying, well, I don't care if I just got a massage. I am a grown behind woman, right? I got a massage. Yes, we kept it very PG. It was cute. It was playful. But honey, you're not gonna sit and say on TV or whatever that I'm upstairs sleeping with a man in a house full of people that I don't know.
Right.
How dare you?
Right.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Accuse me of something like that.
And that was because she was hurt at the fact that you and Dante growing closer. I can imagine people seeing, and those who don't know, we're talking about Zadia, and then because I mean, it is what it is. So you know, because you've grown closer, because that time you and Dante cooked together. So all the maneuvering that you guys have been doing, sure, people seen it, and there was a little bit of jealousy there.
Mm-hmm. If we're gonna call a spade a spade,
yeah. And we be honest with you, spade, it would become jealousy there, because if it wasn't jealousy there, the next scene we saw when they got back, or the next episode we saw, she wouldn't have been up in Dante's face and talking about you made a bad decision if it wasn't any jealousy that was there, and why you dealing with Iesha. So again, reading into that.
And I think too, so it's a little bit of jealousy. And then also, I felt like, you know, like they're poking you, they're poking a bear. And because the other thing is, they didn't get the reaction from you that they were trying to get. Like you said, it's not that kind of show. And yes, we're on here for love, and it's not some of the other reality shows. And so you really have to, what you should be, because we're all grown, is paying attention to how we're coming across. Are we feeding these stereotypes that people have about Black women? Are we feeding these stereotypes? You know, in that moment, check yourself, like, wait, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe.
But your connection came to you and said, hey, calm down. This does not look good.
Right.
Dante said, hey. This what you did right there, that ain't what's up. Like, you poking. Mm-hmm. Like, okay. Like, and even did a little jabs at him while he's trying to say to you, hey, just calm down. It's not cool what's happening right now. And if a man is saying it to you,
right,
I would say, let me take heed.
Right.
Because men usually don't comment on stuff like that.
Right.
But if a man is saying to you, and the man who is one of your strongest connections, don't you think that would eventually turn him off?
And that's exactly what I was about to say. You got to understand that where you thought you were, you moving yourself down, because don't no man want to put up with no foolishness, all this extra drama. You know, you acting out a character, even later getting in my face. Yeah, that's okay.
But from the men's perspective, real man always want to constantly put out the fires of his wife or woman that he's dealing with. No man, because we want to go out and have peace and relax and let it be cool, chill. We don't, as a man, we don't want to be always extinguishing fires that you start.
Yes.
And that was the key there. So we get to the part, you know, her and Dante meet. They meet up, and you know, she tells Dante, "Look, you messed up. I was gonna choose you." Poke her in the face. Did he? And since y'all had grown close, did he come to you and tell you what transpired and what had happened that night after? I mean, that night.
Yes, because at this point the journey is almost over.
Right.
At this point, the journey is almost over. We had already decided that we were going to finish the journey out together.
Okay.
So we still spoke every day, and definitely, because he was definitely like in a space where like, I can't believe this just happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man, he was definitely had to sit with himself like, wow, like this, like I was just challenged like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow. And so it hurt my feelings, you know, coming from what I came from, is just like, it definitely hurt my feelings. I just wanted to hug him. I just really wanted to console him. I just was like, man, like what? And then I felt bad for her, because what is happening inside of you that you thought that was okay?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know him, I know he wouldn't have reacted physically.
Right.
But my thought is, I pray that this girl would never do this to another man, because it might end bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope this was a learning lesson. Again, I'm not here to bash her. I'm not here to trash her. I hope that was a learning lesson.
Yeah, because
you don't want no man to hit you. I promise you don't want a man to hit you.
Yeah, no.
I promise you don't want that. Why even invite that type of energy?
Right.
You don't. I don't care how much you think you work out, how strong you don't. You're a woman. You don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we said when we watched it, I mean, as being a man, he was in a no-win situation.
No.
He couldn't stand up and say anything, because then it would be him attacking her, and vice versa. It was him poking her. He would have been off the show in this other situation, the situation that was going on.
Yep.
And so in that situation, I take my hat off to him, because he showed restraint. As you mentioned, I think we tell our son and tell other young men that I deal with, everybody, and my young daughter, you don't know how other people were raised. Some people are raised that, you know, how we tell our children all the time, if someone touches you and someone hits you, you hit them back.
Yep.
And psychologically, what you have done, when you hear that over and over and over and over and over again, your mind begins to think, you forget, all you remember saying is touch you, hit back. You forget that as a female.
Yep.
You forget that as a male. Your muscle memory and your mindset goes in, and it could have ended well. It could have ended terribly for all parties.
It could have ended really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only person that would have got hurt is the woman physically.
Yeah.
And then the man with his freedom.
Yep. And his integrity. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all around, everybody loses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why that goes back to our original conversation when we talk about doing your work on yourself. When we talk about healing yourself, there has to be something as an adult where you say to yourself, you have to have the restraint and say, you know what? Nope. Again, that's not the move to make.
Yeah.
She said it. She was like, I was walking away, and then I was like, nope, I had to come back. It has to be something in you that's like, nope, girl, keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
You got to listen to that, whatever you call it is. You know, we call it's the Holy Spirit. If it's the Spirit, if it's your conscience, you got to be able to be in tune with that and be like, you know what? Yep, nah, that's not gonna work, sis. Turn around.
And even on a reunion, she's like, I apologize. There was a moment that happened. People gotta understand too. Just because you apologize does not mean somebody gets to forgive you.
Right.
You apologized for you. Did you apologize for them and their emotions and their feelings? Because sometimes people gotta understand that if your apology wasn't felt,
right.
If that person, it didn't hit them like, nah, that's sincere.
Then
that was all for you and not for them.
Right.
I'm sorry is just a word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry is just a word. I apologize is just a word. Where's the action behind it?
Right.
Right.
You know, do I feel it? I don't think I feel it. And then well, I don't care. Let's move on. I apologize, and that's that. That it's not that. That's that.
Exactly. It's not.
It's not just that's that. You apologize, but you left somebody with this trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
So we got living in trauma. Dante won't live in that space, but he still has to reflect on that. He still has to then do more work to be able to stay in that space.
Right.
Of where he was able to, wherever I channel that from, I have to do more work so I can live in that space, stay in that space. So anytime I'm confronted with this again, I'm ready. But why is that mentality there again? Now I have to worry about if this ever happens again.
Yeah.
No, because you put a trigger. No, don't go in people's face. Everybody keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
We learned that in elementary school. We learned that in elementary school. Keep your hands and feet to yourself.
If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all.
That too.
You know, calling people dumb and dense and this and that, and it's just too much. It's too much for the age that we are.
And that's another thing that hurt me too, because they called you dumb and dense. Not knowing that you're intelligent, beautiful, not knowing.
No, she knows because she said multiple times that Aisha always got some words of wisdom. She always wants to be the peacemaker. Every deliberation, she always got some knowledgeable thing to say. So you know.
Right.
But they didn't really know you like that because you said you didn't hang with anybody. Or you
didn't
deal with people.
It's only based off of us being at that round table.
Mm-hmm,
so that's why I'm like, talking at that round table, I made a lot of sense. So
right.
Where did you get dumb and dense from?
Right. But in the end.
Before you get, I got one question about the round table. No, really, it's a serious question about the round table, because I think you was at the round table, because you have dealt with Phil, and you was at the round table when Shiloh came in. How did you feel? Because coming from domestic violence, being in that when that situation was brought up at the round table, and knowing that you have been, that you and this person have great conversations, you was feeling he was one of your connections, and to hear this. I'm not saying take sides, but what was your thoughts?
My thought initially was, this does not seem like Phil.
Mm-hmm.
But again, people can always be another person with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the Phil I know. It's not the Phil I experienced. And I had to have a conversation with him. After having the conversation with him and a lot of the conversations that was said to us from her, I'm not discrediting anybody, but it made sense what he did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like he said, the alternative to leaving you there could have been something I can't repair.
Right.
I can apologize for picking you up.
Right.
I can apologize for taking you somewhere safe. I can apologize for you not wanting me to touch you, because no one should be touched if they ask not to be touched. So we're not going to discredit her feelings.
Right. Yeah. Agree with that.
But as a man, his only position was, it's 4 a.m. It's raining.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the place to talk.
Right.
And so I'm going to pick you up right now. And it may not be what you want right now. And I'm sorry. I can apologize for this. Let me make this part I can make up to you.
Right.
I cannot make up if I leave you here.
When something happens.
If something happens. If something happens to you or I. Think about the same way we're staying like with Dante. What would have been the alternative if Phil would have left? What would we have called him? If she would have came back to set and say, we was arguing and he left me in the alley.
Right.
How many people would have been like, how dare you? Why would you leave her alone? What if something happened to her? Are you crazy?
Right.
You damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
But I think he showed the type of his character, and I think that didn't speak to his character. That the intent was there was no malice in his intent.
Right.
And then he said it over and over again, and I believed it.
Gotcha.
We got that same vibe too. It's like, because same thing you said, Sydney said on the show, is like, well, that's not the person I know. And like you said, people can be different around different people, but you know, I was glad Sydney gave him a chance to explain, and he was like, no, it wasn't like that, you know. So because like you said, it could have been a whole different story. It would have been, why did you let her go down there? Why did you can't win for losing? I can apologize for picking you up, but I can't apologize for somebody hitting you over the head in the alley or anything that could have happened.
And then now my manhood is challenged.
Right.
What if people come out and I can't defend both of us?
Right.
Now, if we do survive a possible attack, because it is 4 a.m., it is the DC streets, there is sketchy characters. People can't be like, oh my God, no one's around. We don't know what's
right.
That's the whole point of this. The whole point of him saying, let's just go back to the car, because I don't know. And if I possibly keep walking down this way with you and someone comes out and I can't defend you or me, now I'm left feeling like I'm not less of a man. So all the possibilities that we can spin versus I'm going to pick you up, and I'm sorry I'm going to pick you up, my love. I'm sorry that this is, we're not discounting your feelings. Don't touch me means don't touch me. But this was not an incident where I'm throwing you over my shoulder like Tarzan is saying, come with me, lady.
Right.
This is, I feel you. We're upset right now. I understand this is happening right now. I understand you don't like what I'm saying. I understand you don't like the questions that I'm giving and the answers that I'm giving you to your questions. I understand emotions is up. I understand that we have drink. I understand that we are outside in the rain. And I hear you, and I understand you mad. But let's do it this way. Right. Just this way. And she said it herself. I'm walking down the alley. I just came from the club. It's raining. It's 4 a.m. She said it herself. 4 a.m. in the rain after I just left the club. I'm not doing it.
Right.
I don't discredit her feelings. I don't discredit her triggers. Any of those things.
Right.
But I don't believe that was meant to hurt her.
Absolutely.
And I believe if she just gives him a chance to apologize like he was doing, again, people could apologize, but you don't have to forgive them. Right. And if she doesn't, that part is okay too.
Yes. Yeah. But
that part is okay too.
Move on from that. But you found love. You found love. You found a gentleman who looks at you the way that you thinks about him, and he makes you smile. When he looked at you when you came down there and he met you, it was a smile on his face. He enjoyed seeing you.
Did y'all see how he was looking at me when I was walking
up there?
He looked at you like, boy.
When I walked up in that blue dress, he said, all I saw was a blue dress coming, baby.
this man that loves you and cares for you. So, you found Dante. How are you guys doing now? I know you mentioned you had some ups and downs. What are you still enjoying about Dante? I know we see it in your face. You still look at him that way, and I'm sure he still looks at you that way as well.
I mean, the love is there between Dante and I. Again, I think the ups and downs, like I said, it has just come with the adjustment of us merging our lives together now. And we know sometimes men,
right?
y'all don't know how to verbalize.
Correct.
When you need room and space,
right?
You just shut down, and it's like, but you have to be in tune with your partner to understand what that shutdown means. But men got to do better. But verbalizing that I'm in this place where I'm gonna feel like I'm about to shut down. So just give me a minute so I can shut down. There's no offense to you, but I need to just clock out for just a few hours. So I think men have to do better than that, because women, we know how to say that. We're gonna tell you, honey. We're gonna tell you I'm upset, I'm mad, you did this, and I'm not your friend. Come kiss up on me or buy me a bracelet to make me feel better. We're gonna tell you, I'm just poking fun, but we're gonna tell you. I think men just have to do better with saying that. And I think that although he has done a lot of work and internal work, he still struggles. I feel like most men, like my brothers and them do with their girlfriends. Like, I just need a moment to breathe because outside noise is happening, and I need to have a minute. And you are my peace, so I want to keep you as my peace. But right now, I need this solitude for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay to give that to them. And I think, sometimes when he went into that mode, he didn't effectively say, like, I just need some solitude.
Right.
And then me being a person who loves communication was like, what's happening? What's going on? Let's figure this out. And then it's like, okay, you need space, I'll give you space. And then we'll come back and like, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So those were some of the bumps, was like getting him to say he needed space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I work right now is a little hectic. I need some time. Well, say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can give that to you. So I think that was a challenge. And then a challenge was, and I think that was probably one of our biggest challenges, is him vocalizing that when he, because he hasn't been in a relationship in a minute. So he had to learn how to adjust to being with somebody all the time. So, and not that we all the time, but when you're in a honeymoon phase, you up under each other.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to, they move 1 inch, you right on them. Where you going? What you doing?
True,
and
true.
I think we really enjoyed that phase. But right now we definitely are good. We're happy, and we're learning each other still, and
That's good.
we're exclusive. He's mine. They ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
Yes. Come on,
I always tell him he loves
exclusivity.
it here.
Black
He
love,
loves
black
it.
love.
Exclusivity.
He definitely loves it here. He's my friend.
That's good.
He's my friend.
That's good.
He's my best friend.
That's good.
I tell him everything. He's my friend.
That's good.
I deserve this. I curated this. I curated this. I deserve it. He deserves it.
Amen.
Everybody gets to curate what their life looks like and put in the work to get that. Right. I saw him. He saw me. I'm a big baby. You guys know that.
You're fine. You good. You good.
Yeah.
You good.
And we work, and it feels good. And it feels good. And all I can say is to him is that we keep working at this.
Yeah.
Because I like it here.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's great when you like it there, when you want to be there, and when you think about the best friend and all those situations. That's where it's at. I'm not gonna ask you the marriage question because that takes time, right? We're not gonna ask that question. Don't worry about that. When it happens, right?
It happens. It's
That's
5 months in, guys.
Right. Yeah,
5 months in a few days.
We're not even gonna ask that question. People they want to know it happens, right? Now, have your children met Dante? And have you met Dante?
No, briefly in passing as he picks me up and drops me off. But it has not been a formal sit down because I'm still enjoying Dante.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I want him. I want to soak him up enough.
Okay.
I still want to feel out him and his mannerisms and his way of moving and his way of thinking before I introduce my kids. But they have met. My son has shook his hand and stood eye to eye with him and introduced himself as a young man.
Okay.
My daughter as well. She shook his hand and said hello. And I've met his oldest daughter, and just talked to his son and said hello to his youngest son on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no real sit down with my children yet. Yeah, I think I don't want to rush that part. I really want to enjoy him before I throw him into this family dynamic role.
Right.
Yeah,
I want him, and it may be a selfish, but I get to be that little bit of selfish. I want to enjoy this first. I want us to just have this fun moments first. My kids are older and they know who their dad is, and they are very involved with their dad, and he's very involved in his kids' life. And I think right now this is just the part where we just figuring out love again and understanding it and welcoming it and just curating all this goodness, so that when we integrate our families, it all makes sense.
Right.
And I don't think it's ever going to be a place where it's like, oh, don't meet them too late because they might not like him. I think when you pick the good man, so the introduction to your children will be one that they welcome to. Some people are like, what if your kids don't like him? What if you don't like your kids? I think that only happens when you again are picking people that don't fit anyway.
Yeah.
He is definitely somebody who aligns with me. So if my spirit is saying that this is okay, my kids are just an extension of me. So what feels good to me, they're going to welcome. And vice versa. It should be the same way. What feels good to him, his children will welcome. Don't just introduce to anybody to your kids, especially if you don't have that gut feeling that this is going to be a good fit for your kids. So they have never met another man but their daddy, and the only man the only man that they have known is their dad. They have never met a suitor of any kind of mine. So when I do it, it will be one that will be the next man that they know will marry their mom or in their mom life for good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I like that you said that too. Yeah, it's when the kids see how this person makes you feel, when you're at home, and it's not a whole bunch of, because kids feed off that energy too. If you come home and he get on my nerves and you spill that out, then they're gonna be like, well, I don't know if I want to. No,
exactly.
I don't like Dante already.
It's mimic behavior. All that is. Oh, my kids don't like him. That's because that's mimic behavior.
Right.
Yeah. My son saw Dante give me flowers.
Right.
See, I bring flowers all the time home from Dante and put it in a vase, and my kids is like, "Oh, Dante gave you that again."
Yeah.
Oh, Mom, he knows that your favorite roses is pink roses. How does he know that, Mom? I'm like, because I told him, and now and they like, oh. I didn't know he would know that. I'm like, because I told him. My daughter like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
So when they see pink roses on my counter, they know Dante gave this to my mom. He must be really like my mom.
Right.
My mom is smiling when she comes in the house after a date with him.
Right.
Yeah, so Dante comes to pick my mom up. My mom is not saying, hey guys, I'm about to go meet Dante. I'm saying, okay, babies, Dante's downstairs to pick me up.
Right.
Teaching my daughter what courtship looks like. Teaching my son what a man do. I'm not meeting you there. You're gonna come make sure I make it there safely by picking me up.
Yeah.
And I'm showing them healthy behavior.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key there too. You're showing healthy behavior, and when you see healthy behavior, you do healthy behavior, and now you're creating that to come together, and especially with a young girl and a young man, because now being courted and showing him what courting looks like allows him to court someone else, and that's good too. You got to train and teach up. We've been on it for a minute, and we want to let you go, but there's been a lot of people asking, right? Been a lot of people asking this, and I'm gonna make sure you get enough time to do this. But I told them while you was gone, they only can do this if they need to participate, right? they can't do this any other way. You're not autographs. Where's your shop located, and how can they get their hair done?
Oh God, so people already been. Please don't be weirdos, though. I love you guys.
we told them don't be weird.
And leave
don't be weird to me.
And leave your green when you come in.
Because I've had to have people come and just like say they want consultation, and they'll just book a consultation, and then they'll sit in a chair and then start being like, so I love this show called Ready to Love, and it is like such my favorite show. And you don't have the mask on, so I'm just like, and when I'm at my shop, I'm literally incognito. I have my hat on. I may have a wig that I didn't comb. Don't judge me. I got my apron on, like right now it's below my waist, but I am working, so I'm not always dolled up and giving y'all all this shit. I have my mask on, and she's like, so I usually ask people like about themselves. I like to need to know you before I touch your head and exchange energy. And then we just sit in, I'm consulting with her, and then she's just like, yeah, I love this show called Ready to Love. Have you ever heard of it? And I'm like, nope. And she's like, you haven't heard of it? Like, I love that show. It's like this girl in there, her name is Aisha. She's just so good. Like, sort of like your name. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I really, really love that show. I'm like, that's nice. And I'm like, what? Did you come here just to do it? Like, and then after she just stood and just like, well, my mask is all the way up here. Like my mask is right here. My hat is low. So all you catching is this. And she's just like, and we both just blinking at each other. And I'm like, okay, so are you ready to book your thing? And then the service she booked was what she needed was well over a few $100. And she's like, I'm gonna think about it. And I was like, okay.
You just came here to fan out.
Like, don't be weird to me. This is my business. This is my business.
Right. Drop your money, get your head.
So definitely, guys, if you really want to book, my link to everything is in my bio.
Okay.
But be intentional about it. Like, this is my business, it's my bread and butter. You can't book up my slots if you're not intentional about coming to sit in my chair.
Mm-hmm.
My passion is here. I've been doing it for well over 20 years. I have loved doing hair from the moment I started cornrowing. The neighborhood boys here and my cousins here. The moment I started weaving and stitching, and now my biggest passion now is hair restoration and making sure women love the hair that grows out of their head first. And then I'm going to attach if you need to be attached, or I'm going to add wigs. I make custom wigs. I do braids. I don't do tiny braids, but I do the new trendy braids. I do natural hair. I urge my clients to be natural all the time. If you're gonna do chemicals, we're gonna do it as safely as possible. Where you're gonna have to commit to marrying me. You do chemicals, right? Because you're gonna be in my chair because we're gonna keep the hair healthy. But I worked with celebrities. I've worked with BT. I done worked with Viacom. I done worked with magazines, billboards. I've done had my accolades is really long. And now my mission is everyday working women to make you guys my celebrity, to make you fall authentically back in love with yourself, that we can take off the wigs and we can love our hair. Yeah. We can love our crown. My hair does not make me, but I'm going to make it look good.
Right. That's
my link is in my bio.
No problem. And the other question I have before we let you go, since you love cooking, when are you going to get your cooking channel?
So I have Cooking with Pink and Princess. It's a segment I do all the time with me and my daughter. I actually have a YouTube page, but I don't know how to work this. I'm a link with you, Jac And Glen, and y'all have to really walk me.
No,
for real. Like, I'm gonna be what camera do I need? What light do I need? How do I send this link that you guys just sent to make me have people? I don't know this world. So you guys have blessed me with this platform to be able to talk to you all, and you guys are calling for me to do things, and I want to oblige. But you just got to just give me time to understand how this world works with this new technology. I'm 38, but I'm not that savvy with this new technology stuff. I got you. My handle is pink, the color pink, Dolly, Dolly, and then Glam on Instagram. So Pink Dolly Glam on Instagram. So you can head over there and follow me. And then you can turn on your notifications for me. And that way, I'm doing something called Love and Life every Sunday and Thursday with some followers, where we're just going to talk life and love. And then we're going to, I'm going to invite some people on, and then we get to talk about it. And then every Monday is going to be my Cooking with Pink and Princess. Me and my daughter, we cook. And then every Friday will be Fashion Forward Friday Finds with Aisha. So y'all keeping me busy, and I'm still here in my salon. So I'm sorry that I was moving around. I'm sorry that I wasn't stationary today.
Oh, no,
I definitely want to get Jac And Glen in today, because the rest of my week is all booked out all the way to Friday, all the way to March. And I didn't want you guys to wait, because you are one of the very first ones to request. Wow. So, but I couldn't close down my day. So I definitely thank you for having me on your platform and allowing me to come in late and then move around too. So thank you for that.
No, we thank you.
Platform is beautiful, and it's beautiful to see a married Black couple for 20 years and gonna be for a lifetime. You better love her forever.
Yes. I'm gonna love her right. I'm gonna love her right.
Yes, but yes, we thank you. We thank you. It's been our pleasure to sit and talk with you. Oh my gosh. To see you on TV is one thing, but we really got to see your heart. And I thank you so much for showing that to us and sharing with us and the viewers. So God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Whatever you need technology-wise, I got you.
Listen, he's serious. Whatever you need, because my husband and then my brother, they have a audio visual company that they do a lot of setups at churches so they can live stream. You know, I'm a plug my brother. My brother's got a YouTube channel. He's at AJAY, the CEO. And so he has a lot of stuff out there too with what equipment you need, but he is being serious.
So then definitely I'm gonna keep in contact with you guys because I need that for certain things that I'm working on in the future. I mean, each one help one. Like each one teach one.
Yes, ma'am. They got you. I'm telling you.
Yep. So we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. I know you still have things that you need to do tonight, so we don't want to hold you up any longer. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Listeners, thank you very much. Thank y'all for joining us. Hit the subscribe button and bell notification.
Did they love me? Did you guys love me in the chat?
Oh, did they?
They loved you.
Oh, did they? You have to go back and see. Yeah. Oh, they were loving on you.
Yeah, I can't see the comments. I can't.
And your boo was in here as well.
Yep, Dante was in here too.
Oh, Dante was in here. Hey, baby, hey.
Oh, he said it in the chat. He was like, "Hi."
That's not boo.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.